So this past Thursday, Joe Biden, it was great. It was Thursday. It was Throwback Thursday. 1 year ago, this past Thursday, he was sworn in as the nation's 46th birthday, as the nation's 46th president. I know I'm putting you on the spot because this wasn't in prep, but what would you say are the top one or two things that Biden has done? And I notice I'm saying I'm not asking for controversies, but the accomplishments. What are two things that he has done in his first year that you want him to spike the ball, you want him to be proud of, and you want him to celebrate?
Okay, this is a good question. There's a lot of when I was paying attention, but I wasn't. I was pretty young when Obama's first year happened and Affordable Health Care Act, and people basically were apologizing for passing it. So I see now though that Twitter and the online media and even Jen Psaki, even some Twitter people who are saying, no, this is everything we've done in the first year, and they're laying it out pretty clearly. Biden spoke and he was like, we're going to do the opposite of what we did in '08. So I'm going to go with two things. I'm going to go with I'm not going to say COVID success. I'm going to say COVID competency. Basically, setting up testing sites, making sure the supply chain was going, vaccination, setting up vaccine spots everywhere. This would have technically happened under Trump. Let's say if Trump won, but it would just not have been as efficient, not as been as the rollout would have never been as successful. So I'm going to say COVID competency, treating it as serious as it is, even though Omicron has, I think, deflated a lot of people's kind of expectations for year one. What we're seeing now is that kind of dip in Omicron. And I think what you'll see in March, April, May, June is kind of like a big surge of people going back and a drop in cases and hopefully a drop in deaths. So that's first. Second is, I think, the infrastructure package, right? Without Build Back Better specifically, people have said it's one of the biggest legislations ever passed. Great New Deal, Affordable Health Care Act, like all that stuff kind of leads into infrastructure. So those are the two things I think we will have long term effects and long term benefits from. So those are the two things I'll say.
My two, we have a little overlap over, and the first overlap is obviously on the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And I think there's a few elements that for me make it stand out. First and foremost, how many presidents have tried to get a very significant infrastructure bill? So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't just the actual direct impact, which is amazing, which is notorious. But remember, under the previous administration, every week was infrastructure week, and they never
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
Um, and so we got something that no one has gotten in ages. It was very significant, very sizable, and even though it's not as ambitious as Build Back Better, the fact that you got something like lead pipes, the fact that you had internet broadband put in, there's some huge elements there that are rather progressive and earth shattering. But the third thing is, it was bipartisan.
Mm-hmm.
It was bipartisan, and the reason why that really matters too is he has a tie in the Senate. He can't lose one Democratic vote. He had, at the time, I think maybe a three-vote margin in the House. So I know a lot of people are really disappointed in what they've gotten or not gotten. First of all, what we got was great, but when you think about the circumstances under which he got it, that's even more amazing. The second success for me for Biden was the number of federal judges he's gotten.
Yeah. Good point.
He has broken a record for the first year and the number of judges, and I know that's the one thing that's what Republicans kick our butt is they care about judges a lot more than we do, and those judges are the ones who are going to uphold or strike down the laws that are good or bad. And think about it. Trump got his judges, especially the Supreme Court justices, and Roe versus Wade in many states is under threat. So I think we agree with the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, and we also and I'm just pointing out the judges. It's just something that we need to probably make this a regular part of our show. Maybe it's something we open with, but in this election year, we need to lift up and highlight the successes of not just Biden but the Democratic caucus, and that's something that's very they've been very effective. I mean, we could spend the rest of the show talking trash, talking shit, and we should. But I also think that we also want to take a moment to really just lift up what they're doing right.